if you join Ex-Mormon subreddit than our Latter-day Saint subreddit, you're more likely to dress up as an animal and yiff somebody.
But wait a second. So can we say that according to the actual data presented by anti-Mormons trying to attack active members of the church, they proved you have a better chance of being a furry in the Ex-Mormon subreddit than in the active Mormon subreddit using their very own data? Can we actually say that as a real sentence?
I don't know. Like, look at this. We just have these two graphs that look astonishingly similar.
How crazy is that? Is that they're...
It's not crazy at all. The people I've interacted with online who have attacked me for being LDS.
Is that what you want to become? You know? Anyone who's like wondering about what they're gonna do, like if they're questioning the church, and like by their fruits ye shall know them, right?
What's a yiff?
Furries invented their own sound called yiff. I'm gonna ask.
And what?
Is Bill real a furry? I'm just asking the question.
So the spike in both of these is somewhere in 2016 to 2017.
What year did Zootopia come out?
March 4th, 2016. I hate that was even close relevant, Quaker.
Welcome back to Midnight Mormons, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L. and Brad Whitbeck. And some of the strongest punches are counter punches. And today you need to watch this. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Keep the meat in the seat because I can't even, this is just too good to be true, okay? Recently, in a Facebook post, okay, our buddy Bill Reel here basically pointed out that the Ex-Mormon subreddit is exploding in comparison to the Mormon subreddit. The blue line being the Ex-Mormon subreddit, the orange line being, you know, the RLDS or whatever it is that subredditors use. And this
Latter-day Saints is the one that he pulled from, I think.
Latter-day Saints is the one he pulled from. Saints. Okay, so anyway, and this, of course, what is he insinuating, Brad?
Well, obviously, he's showing, there are so many more ex-Mormons than active Mormons. But, dude, this is Reddit. Like,
okay.
I don't know. If I were trying to, like, stake my ideological claims on something, I don't think I would go out there saying, hey, I have more support on Reddit than you do.
Okay, so we noticed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with less nerds being in the church. I don't see why this is a bad thing.
Okay, we don't want to bury this lead. We got to dive right in. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that. But I noticed something really, really quickly, that this growth curve right here, that blue line of the Ex-Mormon subreddit, looks almost exactly like the growth rate of microbial bacteria in healthy flesh in comparison to non-healthy flesh. And after checking out and diving into subredditstats.com and checking out some other graphs, I found out there's a bigger correlation between the graph of ex-Mormons and what? These four groups. Furries. You have a better chance of being a furry if you are Ex-Mormon subreddit, and then if you're in the RLDS subreddit, and that growth curve is more strongly correlated to, what are these? Furries? I recognize furries. That's funny. What's a yiff?
Yiffing is when two daddy furries love each other very much.
Kwaku, please.
What?
So, believe it or not, in my comms class, we had to do a project on an absolute disaster, an immediate disaster for communications, okay?
Okay.
So I did something called, a project on something called Furry Con. Furry Con is a real convention of furries, and it was one of the most disastrous things that ever happened in Washington State. But I learned a lot about furries doing this.
Yeah, okay.
Specifically what yiffing is.
It's important to yiff safely.
Oh, it's a verb.
Yeah. So I'm
Wait,
gonna get a little.
so the people in this graph right here.
Yeah. So
furries-
yiffing is you don't accidentally wind up on Reddit yiff. It's not a thing. Yeah. So let me tell you, it's gonna get a little explicit. So you know,
I mean,
censor
these
this in some
graphs,
way.
bro. These graphs look almost exactly the same.
They're so similar. And here's the deal. I found that other graph just like by checking subreddit growth.
Yeah.
And then scrolling down a little bit because I was wondering like what else is like growing.
Well,
And, there's like
let me tell you guys.
Wait a second. So can we say that according to the actual data presented by anti-Mormons trying to attack active members of the church, they proved you have a better chance of being a furry in the Ex-Mormon subreddit than in the active Mormon subreddit using their very own data? Can we actually say that as a real sentence?
I don't know. Like, look at this. We just have these two graphs that look astonishingly similar. Like,
look,
I
we
haven't
still
looked
have
into any
not
of the
covered
real
what
numbers on
yiffing
this.
is.
Yiffing is gluten-free, but you can get into these glutes.
Yeah. Okay.
This
so
is
what?
really important.
Yeah, okay. Just
So whenever
ruin
two-
our days.
When
Ruin our
two
days.
people have sex, obviously they moan. Well, when furries have sex, animals don't moan.
When yiffing, it's customary to engage in a nose boop before starting the ritual.
They make a certain sound, and furries have invented their own sound called yiff. So when they sex, they yiff each other.
And then they go out and find a son who will be their third.
I could have gone my whole life without knowing that.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So it's really not complicated. Yiff is
So, and that actually becomes a problem at Furry Con and the furry conventions they have is they'll book it, but the bellhops, if people who are attending the hotel have to keep telling them, hey, keep it down. Please keep the yiffing.
Oh, dude.
Also, if you have ever done anything with a fursuiter, you have no excuses not to get the vaccine. I mean, these paws that touch things, they have been everywhere.
So anyway, so if you join Ex-Mormon subreddit, then our Latter-day Saint subreddit, you're more likely to dress up as an animal and yiff somebody.
But here's the thing, like, I found another graph that was like on anti-work that looks relatively similar in its growth, but it's like years off. Like this one with the furries and the Ex-Mormon subreddit are pretty close to the same years.
Okay, so here's what's really funny too is, so Bill Reel puts up this graph claiming that all of this explosion between around 2016 to about 2022, but definitely spike in between, I'd say 2016 and 2018, all right, is evidence that, their side is correct and our side is incorrect, right? We notice that directly correlates to the explosion
and they both
in
start
furries.
They both start in like that 2013 zone, right down near zero, and then they take off 2016, 2017.
Okay, so with my history in pest control, I noticed that, hey, this also correlates with the growth curve of my microbes in decaying flesh. Oh, all right. But there's even one step further that it goes. This just reminded me of a study that I was doing for a different podcast we were going to do. And you guys know that I hate looking up stuff on the fly. But one of the most recent big studies done on antidepressants, over the years was done in Spain, I believe between 2015 and 2018. And you will notice that the graphs of trends in antidepressant usage actually looks drastically similar to right here. Look at this. The graph of antidepressant usage spiked between 2015 and 2018 as well in Spain, another country in the quote developed Western world.
So basically, what you're telling me is that Bill Reel is a depressed furry. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Wow, crazy.
No, not that he is, but that. How crazy is that? Is that they're.
It's not crazy at all. The people I've interacted with online who have attacked me for being LDS or whatever, you click on their profiles and it's like, okay, if I see your bio and I see the stuff you were into, Lord, stop my tongue because YouTube will not let me say what I want to say. It does not surprise me that these people are furries. Furries and atheism and Redditism and that whole world just go together.
So then what would explain this graph? So why is the r slash LDS subreddit not growing as quickly and explosively as the Ex-Mormon subreddit? I have my own idea. Well, I would suggest. What's your idea, Brad?
I have a couple of reasons. First off, the Our Latter-day Saints one is it is not like a community forum in the same way that the Ex-Mormon subreddit one is.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because we have community because we're attending church.
Yeah. So like your community is more your ward.
That wasn't
that wasn't meant to be a
that wasn't meant to be a diss, but
that was a diss. That was a burn, dude.
Okay,
that was a burn.
But the Our Latter-day Saints one is pretty much you have people like kind of discussing things in a more Ensign-ish format. So it's going to be a much smaller amount of discussion to be had there, and there's a lot of Exmos that participate there in a way that. There are people who are LDS who don't want to be interacting with them.
Also, let's be honest,
who are people
too.
attacking their testimony the whole time. And there are rules to try to mitigate that, but it doesn't always work, you know?
Also, if geographically, the majority of both those subreddits are probably located in Utah, Idaho, and Arizona. And let me tell you, the Mormons in Utah are out playing sports and like skiing and building cabins and stuff. They're not on
They're not on Reddit.
Yeah, they're on their Chromebooks looking at Reddit. Also, Reddit and atheism are inherently very, very tied. Atheists notoriously love Reddit.
There's an astonishing amount of atheists on Reddit.
How about
and when you leave the church,
so religious
atheists,
religious people wouldn't want to be on that platform.
But also,
very often,
atheist culture is super like they take you in and you need a new place. That's why they're on Reddit. Those are specifically have a lot in common. So my thought on the furry one is this. Whenever you decide church is bad, church is false, all that stuff, and you should explore every single part of your identity or whatever, obviously you give yourself a no-holds bar and maybe internet pornography and perversion becomes a big thing. And you don't have any more guilt, and you don't have anyone stopping you from just really falling into...
I'm starting to realize now that the humor of this is over, this is a depressing graph. Look, what is YIH? That spiked hard in 2018. That little blue line.
I don't want to Google that to find out.
You don't want, yeah, but look, I mean, furry IRL, that stands for furry in real life, right? That means people taking vlogs and videos of themselves as furries?
Yeah, so
I know what I have a guess as to what YIH stands for.
What?
Yipping in happiness? In home? No, what is it? What is it?
Yipping in him. Based on the info I did when I looked up Furry Con, I think it stands for yipping in him. I might be wrong. And furries, if you're gonna come after, no, in fact, I don't care if I'm wrong. Don't correct me. I don't want to talk to you.
So here's the deal. Like, this is just. Is that what you want to become? You know, anyone who's like wondering about what they're gonna do, like if they're questioning the church. And like, by their fruits ye shall know them, right? I don't know. Is this the kind of thing that you want to be going towards?
How many Ex-Mormon Reddit testimonies about how the church held them back from becoming their true self was actually about a guy dressed up as Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what I'm saying? That's a real, I'm sorry, whenever you decide no holds bar, you know what happens? You might find yourself getting into some weird stuff. Like furry and yiffing.
Look at that, bro. I mean, there's a spike that starts somewhere between 2016 and 2018. And here, when you go to Furry Subreddit Growth, the spike all starts in 2016 to 2018. And I mean, that is crazy. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of growth of subreddit activity for the active members. But to be honest with you, that was probably just driven by the fact that you probably got concerned parents trying to keep tabs on their kids. Everybody knows Ex-Mormon subreddit is growing, and it's a boilerplate right now. It's for anti-Mormon violence because they're talking about vandalizing all the churches in the wake of the Bisbee scandal.
Now imagine them doing it dressed as Chester Cheeto is honestly kind of funny. Like, that's funny. Some guy, I'm gonna hurt you, Yiffy! Like, come on. That's not as scary.
I mean, I guess the only way to put this in one sentence for any of my friends that are just tuning in right now is we took Bill Reel, a prominent anti-Mormon's claim that the subreddit statistics on the growth of the Ex-Mormon subreddit in blue over the active Mormon subreddit in orange was proof that, basically their side is winning and so on and so forth.
That was like the theme of the comments.
And that was the theme of the comments.
The section beneath.
However, when
at least Bill didn't just come out and say that,
Yeah, so he didn't come out and say that, but that was definitely the insinuation. And then when we go and we try and dive into the stats and we actually do our own fact checking and verification, we find that the strongest correlation we could find between the growth patterns of the Mormon versus Ex-Mormon subreddit were the explosion of activity in furries and the crossover and the overlay of those two groups, that you are more strongly correlated to be a furry active in the Ex-Mormon subreddit. How do these stats overlap each other? How does it work?
Oh, I don't know. All I've got is these.
I was literally given this information last year from about 9 different people about our Ex-Mormon, and then furry, though, that was the one. It was like, that has to be completely based on sexual degeneracy. I'm sorry,
like
100%.
What else do you call that?
I'm sorry. Look, I understand you shouldn't bully or be mean. If you're a furry, stop being a furry. Okay, I stop being a furry. I am telling you, you should not be a furry. It is a bad, weird, creepy thing.
I think your life will be better if you're not a furry.
If you're dressing up like Winnie the Pooh, taking it. I'm sorry, it's not worth it.
It really isn't. Like, it's just, why would you base your entire personality around this,
Can you censor or at least bleep out the taking it?
Yes, okay. I will. I can't believe this.
Because you know what? When you're dressed up as Winnie the Pooh and you're like, where's my honey? It means something else when you say it, furry. That's why I'm horrified, all right?
I just can't believe I learned what yiff means.
Yiff safely!
On this podcast, because an angry middle-aged subredditor decided to flex and brag and say that his team is winning.
I'm gonna ask.
And that what?
Is Bill Reel a furry? I'm just asking the question. Is he a furry?
I mean, we don't have anything to prove that he's not.
He did have that one podcast where he talked about all the different types of kinks that there are.
I'm not saying he is.
Why waste your time on that?
There's no proof he's not.
So what
the heck?
There's no proof he's not a furry. What if he's a furry? What if Bill Reel gets yiffed?
Oh my gosh.
Does Bill Reel do the yiffing?
Why?
Does Bill Reel get yiffed and yiff at the same time?
No, please. Why? I don't want to think about
what
that.
Animal does he dress up as? Bill Reel. What animal is he dressing up?
Okay, we gotta stop this.
Oh my god.
I can't. Actually, to be
it's
honest,
just wild to me that there are these two graphs out there that we didn't make.
Yeah.
That are just there. They're just out there on the internet, and they happen to correlate so well with each other. Like, what the heck?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
What?
I think he gets yiffed by Tony the Tiger. That's all I'm saying. I know. I'm just saying it. That would make sense to me.
Well, it's
of all of the ones.
It's not just him. There's explosive growth here. Like, who else is RFM too?
How many of these guys have a tab open that says our Ex-Mormon Joseph Smith was a con artist, and then our
Yiff
furry, watch me yiff this Franklin the Turtle. Like, why is that?
Okay.
This is the worst.
I actually, honestly, just all those memes now, all the gamer memes are coming back like every day we stray further from the light.
Yeah, like
just
which way, Western
y'all need
man?
Jesus, which way, Western man?
Here's one. This is the Tesla quote that makes sense. You will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. You know what it is? It's these guys, these X-Mos yiffing each other.
Oh, sweet. Man-made horrors.
Okay, so look. If you're off subreddit, stay off subreddit. I mean, if you're off Reddit, stay off Reddit. I don't think being on Reddit is bragging rights.
When we look at
It's
the
the most-
13th article of faith, if there's anything virtuous, lovely, or of good report or praiseworthy, I don't know how much of that you're going to find on Reddit.
Yeah, so
Apparently these graphs would show you what you will find.
I am very proud of the graph of the active members of the church
Oh my gosh.
who have pretty much just kept tabs on their loved ones and not engaged too much.
I just realized
While
something.
the graph correlated with furries is exploding.
I just realized something.
What'd you realize?
So, a movie that did very, very well in Utah, 'cause it's a family state, was Zootopia. And
Kwaku, please, no.
when the Mormons took their kids to the Cinemark to watch Zootopia, it was so they could have a nice FHE. When the Expos went to watch Zootopia, they left the kids at home so they could yiff each other after.
Oh my gosh. Look, okay. So the spike in both of these is somewhere in 2016 to 2017.
What year did Zootopia come out?
March 4th, 2016. I hate that was even close to relevant, Kwaku.
Right in the middle of Zootopia. So what's going to be the name of this podcast? Did Zootopia unleash a bunch of ex-Mormon furries on subreddit?
What are the comments going to be like when the furries find this?
They'll be mad because we told them that you shouldn't be a furry.
Look, I'm
Remarkably
about,
judgmental.
you want to be a furry? I don't really even know what that is, other than just like I just hear they dress like animals and stuff. But like, you do you, dog. I'm the king of you do you.
Be careful how you say dog. in
Yeah.
this.
No, look.
So like, you do you. Like, bro, seriously, I'm from LA, man. Like, just you do you. All right.
If my kid was a furry, I would disown him.
I don't think you're gonna find a solid correlation of like being a furry and being happier. I don't think.
That's
Maybe
fair.
hairier.
Maybe.
That's fair. So look, all I'm saying is that like, dude, you want to be a furry, like that's cool. Like you do you. I'm from LA, man. Like, dude, that's chill, man. Like I'll drop you off at the furry club. All right.
I know you're very accepting, even though people think, some people think you're not. Because no, I'm gonna put my foot down on this one. You should not be a furry.
Okay, no, fine. That's cool. Like, there's a lot of things you shouldn't do, but I still don't care, and I don't judge you if you are.
I will.
Like, okay, fine.
I will judge you if you're a furry.
Well, I won't. Like, so I'm not gonna judge if you're furry and stuff like that, right?
I'll just be disturbed by
that-
myself.
I'm just saying that if your hero, Bill Reel, who's leading the charge right now on like, ex-Mormon rationale and like Pythagorean thought and all that other stuff that he said he wanted to do with us in the debate that he ended up chickening out of, that if your boy is Bill Reel and he's trying to throw graphs up on the screen, about how explosive the growth of his subreddit is, you gotta cross-reference that subreddit with just some other data first and make sure that subreddit graph doesn't directly correlate with the explosion of furry activity on the subreddit. Kwaku, what? I see you want to do something. What's going on, dog?
All I'm saying is I will give $1 million to anybody who can prove that in 2016 Bill Reel did not get yiffed by Mickey Mouse. If you can prove it to me, I'll give you $1 million.
Okay, we're done.
Oh
we're
my
done.
gosh.
Do you have anything else to say, Brad?
No. Why would I have anything else
Okay,
to
we're
say?
done. I don't even want to close this and say this is Midnight Mormons. See you in the next program, kids. I have heart palpitations. I need a drink.